Almost all electricity sources are solar, just with a few more steps. I guess hydrogen fusion would be an exception, and to an extent burning hydrogen, though that hydrogen comes from hydrolysis, which is powered using solar energy in one form or another. The heat in the Earth's core is from the compression of heavy metals, right? Heavy metals that were born in a star, so it's still solar. Geothermal is kinda sorta solar, as in it wouldn't happen without the sun, but it isn't as a result of the sun's light like wind or fossil fuels. Fission is the result of a different star going supernova, and fusion is using material from the Big Bang itself, which is where all the hydrogen in our universe came from. The rest are solar. The only non-solar forms of energy are fission, fusion, and geothermal. Please explain how coal power plants are a few steps from solar energy. I can, and it is with far more steps, but really it's Milky Way power, since supermassive black holes do not form galaxies around themselves, they form with galaxy. Former flat earthers. What made you come around? The Mobius Earthers had more compelling arguments. Kyrie Irving hasn't been doing press conferences. I was debating a flat earther in Mexico, and I asked him about how GPS worked if there were no satellites. He said that they had devices in the ground to route you. I told him the Mexican government is barely able to put decent water pipes in the ground. Would he really think they had the tech to put routing devices in the ground? He chuckled with a 1,000-mile gaze. A serious answer here. The thing that made me stop was just the question, why would NASA lie to you? I will try replying to all of y'all, but will go to a study hall, so will reply later. Had to travel to Japan, gave up on my beliefs in order to make a shorter trip. Our government couldn't even keep Bill Clinton's Oval Office a secret. You really think they can keep something that big a secret? Oh, they move on to join the Q cult. Seriously, I was tired of living life on the edge. So no one with serious responses. I was kinda looking forward to reading the replies. No one took me seriously. I fell into a rabbit hole of conspiracies. Thankfully, physics is a mandatory subject in Switzerland. Made much more sense than any top 10 facts that prove that the Earth is flat. My Phil is a flat earther and all-around nutcase. I asked him if the Earth was flat and you was right. What then? How is your life any different? His face was priceless because he didn't have an answer. It was great. I tried to convince others that the Earth is a circle, but they wouldn't listen. It's pointless. I always have 2 questions for flat earthers. 1. Do you believe in Pearl Harbor? 2. If yes, can you explain to me Japan's flight path? There are flat earthers all over the globe. Tangentially related, but my friends and I invented the Australia isn't real part of the flat earth conspiracy. We're all from NZ, so convincing a large number of people our rival isn't real was pretty cool. What's supposed to be on Hunter Biden's laptop computer that is so terrible? Marcellus Wallace's soul is in there, lol! Pictures of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Open with caution. Hillary Clinton and Barbara Bush scissoring each other. He owns Nickelback's entire catalog. CP. Embarrassing snapshot of him at the Christmas party. Buttery males. Pics of him doing crack and underage girls. Quid pro quo of money and jobs from foreign shell companies owned by adversarial governments for political favors and influence. Joe provided while VP, and lots of videos of Hunter doing drugs and banging hookers. If we knew, no one would care anymore. It's all about the speculation. A conservative MacGuffin. It's just this decade's bitter emails. He has a copy of the Russian Trump tapes. Something about the Ukraine, for one. Why was VP Biden's son wrapped up in Kiev? And why is President Biden and the UN in a quagmire there? The same thing as Hillary's emails. It has been handled improperly for the past 4 or 5 years. That means everything on it is as likely faked as original. Really, it's just a prop for Republicans hoping to turn the tables for what Democrats did to Trump. Go for their shenanigans. I think influence peddling. He used his daddy's name, though there's no proof that Joe did anything illegal. More selfie videos of him smoking crack. Stargate Atlantis/fan fiction called McShep. Obama's last name. Old school NES, SNES and N64 ROMs torrents. Nintendo is ready to file a lawsuit. Lol. What's not on that laptop is a better question. Probably CRT. Enough to have multiple multi-billion-dollar corporations work with the US government to try and hide it before the election. Old man drool. Trump tape. Copies of all the classified documents Trump sold to Russians. For those talking chains of custody, many email systems put in data not visible to people that can be used for verification later. Many emails and texts verified by other recipients. Remember also that info points to certain additional info, like who is where and when. That info can often be independently verified. What to you is criminally overpriced? Housing, healthcare and medicine. Insulin. Anything you buy that has your work logo on it. Gesticulates broadly. Albuterol. How does a life-saving medication go from $15 to $75 while simultaneously lowering the dosage? Healthcare in general, when wages are so low for a lot of people. Anything associated with a wedding, school books, living, eggs. Used to be $50 a dozen in bulk. Houses in Auckland. Tipping culture. Higher education. Insulin. Cocaine prices are set by criminals, and it's expensive. Anything that has wedding attached to it. Concert tickets. Gasoline and diesel fuel. Clean water. Fuel. Medication and county permits. I can't believe nobody has said beef jerky. Low-end beef scraps for a higher dollar Oz than filet mignon or prime-cut ribeye? Sign me the F up. Most medicine in this country. It's almost criminal. Housing and medicine. Things. Who says things must cost money? Like who made you? All of this land and resources were here long before anyone. It's nobody's, it's everybody's. Why do I have to pay for it? Criminals will understand. Plane tickets to places outside Europe. Gas. Americanos. Why is it $4 for espresso and water? Starbucks. Housing. Rent especially. Minecraft Bedrock Edition resource packs. The things one needs to live without shame. Parmesan cheese. Like fruits and vegetables. I'm sure all Brits agree with me when I say literally everything right now. Most expensive energy in the world, second most expensive childcare in the world, etc. etc. Soda. A 12-pack on sale in the grocery stores where I am is $2.14. Edit: I forgot to mention that a single 12-pack range from $7-9. Airport food. Women's skin and body care products. Health products. Sentence-forming materials. 1.600 euro per 50 grams La Prairie cream. 1.000 euro per kilo carbon road bicycles. Funerals. Coke. If OK Boomer was a digital assistant like OK Google, what sorts of answers would it give you to certain questions? OK Boomer, where's the nearest recycling center? We have trash cans. OK Boomer, directions to 5th and Montgomery. We don't need a map, I know where it is. Wait a minute. OK Boomer, wake me up at 6:00. Wakes you up at 5:00. Get up, it's 6:00. OK Boomer, open YouTube. How? Can you show me? OK Boomer, what's the most effective birth control pill? The most effective birth control pill is an aspirin between your knees. Actual quote from a friend's parent, I'll never forget it. OK Boomer, what's on TV right now? We only watch the news and Wheel of Fortune in this house. OK Boomer, what's the weather like? Why don't you go for a walk and see for yourself? OK Boomer, call my husband only if you tell me when I'm going to get grandkids, it's about time. OK Boomer, volume up. What, you want to become deaf? OK Boomer, how can I pay for college? Write a check like I did. OK Boomer, how's the weather today? Alexa? No, you're supposed to answer me. Alexa, are you listening? I can't tell if it's listening. Do I start talking yet? I think it stopped. Directions to this. OK Boomer, play today's hits. That is not music. OK Boomer, where is the nearest gas station? X200B. OK, so you're going to want to drive past that building that used to be the old dentist office. Take a right at the large yellow house. Keep going until you see that sign for the restaurant we went to last year and then take a left. If you've reached the place where Tim Hortons used to be, then you've gone too far. OK Boo, by your age I had a house, car, and $50K in savings. You need to stop asking for handouts. OK Boomer, what's the capital of Iraq? Back in my day, we looked things up in an encyclopedia. Millennials, so obsessed with their phones. OK Boomer, turn the thermostat to 23 deg. That function is locked to users. OK Boomer, restaurants nearby. We have food at home. Why is there no body positivity movement for men? The body positivity movement is by women for women, and also flawed, I think. Nobody gives a. There is, it's the positive association of dad bod. There is. It's me. I'm old and don't care, and neither do women. For women, by women, because it doesn't exist. Men are realists in the sense that not everybody is great. If you're get in the gym, it will solve more problems than you think. Men don't get offended when people suggest that they should start working out, because we're not delusional. There is, it's lumped in with the other body positive movement, and it's a horrible movement for health. Are you wishing there was more of it or something? Because we'd rather there be peace and quiet than start a bunch of about accepting us being. Just let us be in peace. Probably because most men don't judge their male friends on their weight, because I don't get triggered when I see characters or action figures depicting body types or traits I don't have. I'm a lanky black man, but seeing super scions with rippling muscles and golden hair and green eyes doesn't make me want to cut myself. Nobody cares about men. Also, I'm pretty sure the movement was originally for those who were scarred, disfigured, disabled and such, and then Women took over and made it about themselves, because men work on things that working out sucks and men do that, boys don't. I'm a guy and in my opinion it's not as needed. The pressure women face to look good using fake means such as makeup, is mainly peddled by other women and media. Most men don't care and we express this, but media and other women are atrocious to other women about looks. What is preventing you from starting one yourself? A lot of men identify body positivity movement as something harmful. Of course it's not inherently harmful, but it has gotten to levels where its community can be regarded as toxic. Tylenol or ibuprofen? Why? Ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory, so works better on arthritic type pain and menstrual cramps. Tylenol for fever, ibuprofen for headaches. Well, Tylenol for me, because I have early stage renal failure. Sad face. Ibuprofen is an NSAID, and Tylenol is in a different class. The latter inhibits synthesis of prostaglandin. Ibuprofen and aspirin are COX-1 inhibitors. If you are having a chronic pain issue, you shouldn't stack up your NSAIDs. Switch between ibuprofen and Tylenol for less toxic results. Always follow instructions for timing and don't exceed dosages. Tylenol for headache, ibuprofen for muscle joint pain. Ibuprofen. I can handle a little intestinal bleeding, but at this point my liver can't take any more abuse. Tylenol filters through the liver rather than kidney. I have kidney issues. I prefer the old method of using both. Acetaminophen for pain relief and fever, ibuprofen for inflammation. I take both at max dosage daily on top of Norco, tizanidine, and baclofen. Breaking your spine sucks. I advise against doing it. Tylenol if bad kidneys or blood pressure issues, ibuprofen if liver problems. Excedrin. Always ibuprofen, unless I'm sick to my stomach and can't eat anything. Tylenol. Because my back is hurting from the chair I'm sitting on. Where's the Tylenol? If I lay down flat on my back, it usually kind of fixes it. As a person with arthritis, both. They work fabulously together for pain management and swelling. Take a moderate dose of each together. I do 500 mg of Tylenol, 400 mg of ibuprofen. Since I apparently have a G6PD deficiency, I take ibuprofen most of the time. I could take Tylenol, but, after a bit, it might cause problems according to the doctor I spoke to a long time ago. Both. Neither. Aspirin for me. Prefer the uncoated, but it's less common. Both at the same time. Little trick I learned from the hospital. Isn't Tylenol just a brand name ibuprofen? Massive amounts of humanity will fight to the death for their country, but not for the planet. We need to have a superior arrogant alien race that makes us want to fix our planet. Massive amounts of humanity will fight to the death against another country, but there is no other planet to fight against. Fix that for you. I feel like if you put the vast majority of the world in a situation where they would really have to fight for their country, they'd probably say no. I think a lot of people like to talk like they would, but in real life they wouldn't. I feel like many people would not fight to the death for their country either, because of the concept of the planet is too big to think about for many while country is home. Wars give people an enemy to hate. Without the outlet for hate, making change has less motivation for many people. What the does fighting to the death for the planet even mean? Sounds like something an eco-terrorist would say while dumping milk out in the middle of a supermarket. I'll raise you one better. Most of humanity will fight to the death because someone who says they have the right to make you do that, tells you to do it. I disagree. We have not raised our children to have a war mentality, and rightly so. My children will not be cannon fodder for big DCK egos. Not for my country or anyone else's. I would move to another planet if available though. Got to be better than Earth. The planet doesn't care about us. It will be here long after this failed human experiment, as George Carlin said. We're just a surface world. Will shake humanity off like a flea on a dog's, will repair itself and continue on unlike us. Hi. I am running for president of Earth. I am running on a no-killing policy, including animal. Also animals can vote. Eco-terrorists think they are, though they are largely idiots. Well, let me prove you wrong when the aliens show up to glass the planet and exterminate humanity for and giggles. To think humanity will save the planet is human-centric. The planet will go on without us, my friend. Life goes with or without people. I think the difference is the perceived tangibility of the threats. One is just a concept that people have heard of for a while but maybe haven't felt the effects of yet, and the other is a readily understandable threat with readily understandable intent, with guns. What can American politicians do to actually improve the lives of the 99? Pass laws that prioritize people over corporations. The opposite of whatever they are currently doing. Actually do something useful rather than line their own pockets. Also term limits for Congress. Tax the wealthy. Healthcare would be a start. Stop lying. Nothing. People need to learn that politicians don't care about benefiting the public. None of them do. not even the ones who seem trustworthy. Cut taxes across the board. Stop giving money to corrupt governments abroad. Dramatically reduce military spending. Focus on defense, not offense. Reduce red tape on businesses. Require single topic laws. Quit. You assume that politicians care more about the citizens than the money in their pockets. Pass term limits. Try and work with the opposition to hopefully reach compromises for the benefit of the population, rather than just petty squabbling. Childish points scoring. Medicare for all. Tax the rich, or resign. Retire and let young people take over. Medicare for all. Better child tax credits, universal health care or a cheaper option for health care. Better public transportation, more housing initiatives, bipartisan cooperation, end corporate welfare and outdated subsidies. Significantly reduce military spending and direct those funds towards schools and clean energies. Audit government agencies that are notoriously corrupt. Raise the minimum wage a lot. Protect union organizing and the right to strike. Tax capital at the same rates as income and raise rates substantially on those making more than $500,000 annually. Tax rich people and use the money from that to fund a social safety net. Pass student loan forgiveness, higher minimum wage, and a quarterly stimulus check to ensure people are able to thrive. Stop taking paychecks from the GOP and its anonymous donors. Universal basic income. Housing for all. I'm not talking 47-room mansions. Just a comfortable place to sleep and live. Health care including mental. Education to whatever level they want and can achieve. Tax the one. What's your favorite beer? Whatever is on sale. Devil. Yingling. It's a nice balance between flavor and drinkability. So I can get and not feel like I had 12 IPAs. Busch Ice Everyday Baby. Kona Big Wave. Duff. 1 free beer. 2 cold beer. 3 Bell's 2 Hearted Ale. I like Sapporo and Asahi. Cold. Too many but Chimay Blue comes immediately to mind. Heineken. Free. Steinlager beer is the best. Root beer. Guinness on tap. Root beer. Whatever you buy me. So far, there was this chocolate raspberry beer I had from Beer World years back. I still want more of it. Green Flash West Coast IPA. An open one. Trogs Troganator. Cigar City Jai. Every single one of them. A nice chocolate stout. I drink about a beer or two a year nowadays, and it will always be a chocolate stout. Lost Coast's 8-Ball Stout. First beer I had that I legitimately liked the taste of. Old Chub's good too, but I can usually only drink one in a sitting. Yabisu, from Sapporo Breweries. Donya Movies. Stella. Don't really have a favorite, but if I could only have one beer for the rest of my life it would be Saison DuPont. 1 Cransbury Brands. 2 Wieringer. Root beer. Birch beer. I like to cook with non-alcoholic beer. Landshark Lager. 2 Karbach Love Street. Light beer. Miller Lite. Other than that, I love 3 Notched King of Clouds IPA. Moosehead. Natty Daddy. Tsingtao. Bateman's Mix, which is half their dark mild blend and half their XB blend. Unfortunately, the nearest Bateman's pub to me is currently about 4,500 miles away. Root or ginger beer. Lowell. It's not beer like how beer is beer though. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Truly. Guinness Nitro. Corona with a lime. It just hits right. All kinds of black beer from the 100 German breweries that make it. It's one of the most calorie high beers, but I don't care. I never managed to gain weight anyways. African proverb says the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel the warmth. What time in your life have you been closest to starting the fire? 16 years old. Finally decided to fight back against abusive parents. Only had to do it once to stop the physical abuse. The brain kept happening. I can absolutely attest to being around people who were love-starved and then subsequently self-sabotaging or otherwise destructive. In a softer sense, if I have felt rejected, I have felt peace and sort of burning bridges to find myself. My old job. A lot of people quit when I did. They'll survive, but the atmosphere isn't nearly as light anymore because all the fun people left except one, and now the turnover rate is ridiculously high. Here in Australia, the fire starts itself. Already am. Therapy is a magical thing where you learn to burn down anything that is bad for you. And then you take it to your family. My family seems to be somewhat accepting of me burning down the stupidity that is hurting us all, and leaving the nice things, though. When I was like 15 I got in a fight with my friend over something. I went home and was shaking with rage. Full-on puberty meltdown anger. I was stomping up and down the hallway breathing through my teeth all hard. At one point I went in the kitchen and got a knife and started talking too. Like forgive me for what I do to him lol. I'm embarrassed when I think about that. That's a badass proverb if I do say so myself. Working in corporate, if I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear. I've never done this in real life, but definitely in video games from time to time. When I told my mom I was being sexually abused, the first words out of her mouth was nobody wants to touch you. I was 8. Life in public accounting. I always feel like a loser in school. I have friends but end up alone 95 of the time. It's rough dog. Going to the DMV. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Whenever I go camping or to a bonfire party without a total fire ban. I was heating up bread. For 1 minute. 50-second too long. Almost my entire adult life. With spaces in between. I've been self-immolating for 20 years. Tomorrow you wake up and you're suddenly 16 again and in high school. What would you do? Start dieting and exercise. Wait the 7 years till 2010 and buy Bitcoin. Invest in Apple, Netflix, Amazon. Panic. Assuming I keep my knowledge of the future, I'd change nothing. I'm finally content and happy with my life, and to change any part of what got me here could jeopardize that. Do I keep my knowledge of my life? Be 1 year older and panic. Get straight A, be oblivious to all the I could have had and make a move on the most beautiful girl I have ever had, send all the signals she was into me. Then after high school, get over myself and go directly into the military OCS and have retired 4 years ago. Run away. Well, I'ma have to restudy history again, study hard, get a job, save money, and invest in Microsoft and Apple, being sure to sell off stock at appropriate times. Exclamation mark the 4.0 and settle for a 2.0, cultivate some previous relations to people, tell some off, take better care of myself, get a girlfriend, do mushrooms, one last time, work 3 jobs. Borrow money from family and invest it all in tech stocks. And ask out my crush! Exclamation mark myself. I ain't going through that again. Try to get over my shyness and talk to girls more often. I unfortunately wasn't in high school at 16. So, ravenously get some more education would be my goal. Leave school and get a job. Save up and get a house. Go back to my high school, pose as a student to find a story to write, but falls for the English teacher. Then kiss on the baseball field. Hang myself. Enjoy not having chronic back pain and get an MRI on my spine earlier than the age of 19. Pay attention. Stop flirting with every guy that gave you the time of day. Okay, so. Pretty much have way more. Didn't cash the V card until I was 23. Due to conservative Christian parents. Other than that. Invest the trust fund I got at 24 differently. IBM and 3 meters didn't make me the stacks I thought they would.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.